Elizabeth Chappell, a lifelong entrepreneur who finally found my niche. After years of new ideas and jumping from business to business, I figured out how to turn a craft into a successful career. In 2016, I started a monthly subscription box for quilters. That little startup has grown into a thriving, multiple six-figure business that I am so proud of. As a published author, designer of fabrics and patterns being sold throughout the world, my favorite thing to do is to teach others how to grow a career of their dreams. Each week, you'll hear from me or from other guests who are creative entrepreneurs, so you can learn exactly what to do and what not to do to grow a career that's more rewarding and successful than you ever thought possible. If you're ready to turn your craft into a career that you love, I am so excited you're here. Welcome to the Craft to Career podcast. Welcome, my Craft to Career podcast listeners. I am sitting here with a glass that you might hear. There's ice in it, and it also has a protein shake because I'm on a journey to have a lot of protein every day. And it turns out that is a full-time job, trying to get all of my protein. Any of you who have ever tried, you know my pain, but it's also part of a health journey that I'm on. So if you hear a little clink, clink of the ice cubes, that's what's going on. I also want to tell you how happy and excited I am. There are 292 reviews, which is so close to 300 reviews for the podcast. Thank you to those of you. And it's been just a couple in the last few weeks who have taken the time to go and leave a review. I see you. I see each and every one of you who leaves a review, and it means the world to me. If you have not left a review yet for the podcast, please do. There's a brand new one, and it's short and sweet from Beto Gasca. It says, best podcast I've ever heard. She is honest and love the info. That is honestly so sweet. Thank you so much. And today we're talking about email lists. And I'm going to share kind of, my view of email lists, and then something that I recently heard about email lists that is food for thought. So I'm going to bring it up to you. But basically, why you need an email list. That's what we're talking about today, and how to make it work for you. So if you haven't heard before, people are always like, have an email list. You should start it sooner. And there's all this guilt around an email list. Like, not only do you need to grow one, but you should be emailing all the time. And, we tend to just feel guilty about that. Like, I'm not doing enough. If there is one thing that I have learned from mentoring women and working with different entrepreneurs, it is that the guilt is very strong. There's so much guilt that we feel about, I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. And it's crazy because as I listen to these different business women and entrepreneurs, and I say women because I've really only mentored women, but men, you're welcome. And I'd love to work with you as well. But just the level of, if we hop on a call apologizing, I'm sorry, I know I haven't done enough, where I'm sitting there like, wow, look what you've done. So I want to first just address that and let you each know that you're doing better than you think you are, myself included. We are our toughest critics. And maybe it was, someone in our past who told us that, and that voice keeps creeping back into our minds. Whatever it is, I know that you are doing more than you think you are. So give yourself that recognition and just sit with that for a moment. And so before we dive into the email list, I just want to address that. And I'll kind of keep bringing that back up as I talk about these email list things. My purpose is not to have you feel overwhelmed, but I do want to give you knowledge and tools so that you can grow your business instead of just floundering. So another thing I've noticed with mentoring different business owners, I don't know what the percent, I'd say like 75% is more just the moral support. So I'm here to encourage you, but then, the other 25% is hands-on, practical, let's redirect, let's try this, let's focus on this. So the majority is the mindset, the emotional. But in this podcast, I want to provide both. And this is that tangible 25%. What can you actually do to grow your business? And having an email list is really important. So we have seen social media can disappear. There was a day where TikTok was taken down in the US, and then it came back the next day, and there's still talks of what's going to happen. Is it going away? Is it extended? So, I mean, it's just a reality check that those platforms, we are the guest there. It's not our house. We're playing by their rules and we don't own that. But with my email list, I mean, technically you could say like I use FloDesk. I don't own that either, but I have downloaded all of the names and the emails of the people on my email list, and they are literally saved in the cloud. So heaven forbid FloDesk shut down, I still have all that contact information. And same with Kajabi, I have contacts there, but I have downloaded all of that information. So yeah, in a way, I do own that. Like I could, if it all shut down tomorrow, I have all that contact information. I do not have the contact information of any of my followers on Instagram unless they're on my email list. So if Instagram shut down, which actually it has had glitches before where it's kind of like been out for the day or whatever, and business owners freak out. Personally, I'm like, what if it did all just shut down? And yeah, that's a topic for another day. I would not say no to that. I think we could all figure out other creative ways to, anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But let's go back to the email list. The importance of the email list. We don't own social media. It could disappear. It could get hacked. We could lose our accounts, whatever that may be. Even running ads, and this is the other topic I want to bring up, even running ads. I do know people who've been locked out of their ads account and they cannot run ads. And so really you could be in a bit of a pickle. So owning your email list, that is something you can own. And no matter what, you can reach out to those people and you can be the driver of that. You don't have to just hope that they're going to see your post or whatever, they will get that email in their inbox. So, okay, this insight that I did want to mention, I have been a recent student of Maria Wendt, and I had she has like a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and she did a monthly coaching call, and she just talked about, she has a different view of emails that no one talks about. So this is food for thought, and this is new for me because I have been taught and I have seen the benefit of emails, but she is of the school of thought that you really just, all that matters is sales. And to get a sale, and she broke down the numbers, and she's not wrong about these numbers. Like with my email list, I get a 30 to 50% open rate. And then a click rate is, 3%. And of those clicks, it's about a 1% sale. So that's a lot of people. That's a big net that you're going to throw to get a sale. Obviously, the bigger the net, the more the sales and all that. But her approach is just run ads and get people immediately to go and buy that thing. And then, you can collect the email through the sale and kind of reverse that instead of getting an email to do the sale. So that's an interesting idea that is new for me, and it's food for thought, like I said, but it is running ads. But anyhow, just throwing that out there. But I will say in my business, I mean, I've been doing this now for, 2000. Oh my gosh. Next year it's going to be 10 years. Wow. That's kind of that's a big celebration moment. So 9 years. And I've tried lots of things. I've done lots of things. I've seen what has worked for me and what hasn't. And I will say that, yes, growing an audience on social media helps. And I'm able to funnel a lot of people off of social media onto my email list. And I've really gotten better with that in the last year. But before that, I just really used social media to sell stuff. And that conversion rate is a lot lower than an email rate. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but every time, and I've tried it multiple times, I will post something multiple times on Instagram, I have a larger audience on Instagram, 150,000 at the moment. And my email list is about 75,000. So you can see the numbers there. My sales every time I send an email, I get minimum triple the sales than when I post something just on social media. So now the question is, how do I get people to join my email list? Let's dive into that. You do not need a million freebies. And I've tried to go down that path. It's a surefire way to burn out. When you're just trying to always create something new to capture people's attention, oh gosh, I get tired just thinking about that. So you only need one or two really good opt-ins or freebies. So for example, I have my Gingham quilt, and I've now been sharing that for a couple of years, but it's brought in about 40,000 people to my email list to date. And every time I share it, which honestly is about twice a week on Instagram, kid you not, I'm past caring, because at first I'm like, people are going to get sick of this. They're not. And if they are, they don't say anything to me. But here's the funny thing. Every time I post about, hey, comment Gingham to get my free Gingham quilt pattern, there's always a couple people who comment. And really, there's 40,000 people about who've opted in to get that. Well, I know that my email list is 70,000. I know that my followers on Instagram are 150,000. So do the math, 150 minus 40,000. That's how many people still haven't opted in to get that Gingham quilt pattern. So not everyone has gotten it yet. And like I said, every time I share about it, someone new gets it. So I think a big fallacy that we have is thinking, I've shared about this too many times, people are sick of it. They're really not. Like, you be known for that thing. Like, all right, I'm known for having a free Gingham quilt pattern. That's okay. Like, it's working for me, and it's on brand for me, and it works. So that's a big tip, is to be very specific about your opt-in. Tie it directly to what your main offer is. Now, when I'm doing like the quilt pattern writing course, I'm going to be doing opt-ins that are geared towards writing quilt patterns as opposed to just making a quilt. But you want to be very specific. You want to avoid things like how to make a half square triangle, something that's very generic, because anyone can Google that and find it. But if you were to make like your favorite shopping list of 30 must-have quilting supplies, no one can Google that and find what your 30 top favorite quilting supplies are. So really do some thinking. Like, I'm mentoring someone right now who is from another country. And in fact, this happened. She had an opt-in for how to make, a certain type of quilt block. And she really wants to be known for where she originates from and the kind of fabrics that they use there and her culture. And I was like, whoa. I think we're missing a big opportunity here to make an opt-in that's tied to your culture. And so we talked about some different ideas for an opt-in that would be very on brand for her, that would be very unique, that you're not going to be able to find if you Google that anywhere else. So that is food for thought. That right there is enough for you to pause. You can turn off the podcast, pause it, and really sit down and ask yourself, what am I known for? What do I really want people to, when they think of me, they think of, do you want to be known for half square triangles? Probably not, unless you're going to go all in and be known as making only quilts that have half square triangles. That's a really unique approach to quilting. But think about what you want to be known for and have it be unique. Have it be something that stands out, like where you're from, if it's somewhere unique. I mean, even if I have a candle sitting in front of me, it's a Tennessee pine candle, one of my favorites. If you're from Tennessee, and you want to be the Tennessee quilter, I'm just going with that because of the candle. But then you could talk about all things Tennessee, make every one of your quilts tie into Tennessee. You could share recipes from Tennessee, share, favorite candles, whatever. I have everything be related to Tennessee. That's unique. That's very different from just a generic quilt block, or here's a heart quilt that you want to avoid the generic. So I hope that is clear and gives you food for thought on how you are approaching business to stand out. Like, how are you unique? And then make your opt-in relate to that. As a small business owner, we know two things. We need a product to sell and we need people to buy it. But how do we actually get people to buy? Here is my little secret. Your biggest sales will come every time you send an email to your audience. That's right. Whether this surprises you or you already know the power of email marketing, one thing is clear. You need the right email platform. And that's why I use FloDesk. FloDesk is made for small business owners. And unlike most email providers, FloDesk does not charge you the more your audience grows. Plus, creating beautiful, easy to read emails has never been easier. So if you are looking for a user-friendly way to collect email addresses and grow your audience, try FloDesk. And with code QuiltersCandy, you will get 50% off your first year. Experience how easy it is to grow and nurture your audience with FloDesk. So we've created opt-ins that are appealing and unique. Now, how do you get people to opt into them? Well, every single one of your posts on social media should say either click the link in my bio to get my, and you have only one or two freebies. So, you can have two links right now on Instagram in your bio. So you can say, click the link in my bio to get, and then have that freebie there. Or if you're using ManyChat, you can say comment, for me, comment the word Gingham. And then in ManyChat, it's set up automatically to send them a DM. Now, if that's too much and you're like, no, I'm not going there yet, then just use the link in your bio and just have that link go directly to your opt-in. So that Tennessee, whatever, they click the link in your bio and it says free Tennessee, I don't know, whatever it might be. So we have the opt-in that is going to be unique. You're posting, every one of your posts should be inviting people to get a free thing. And it's going to be on brand, it's going to be unique on brand. Now you have these emails. So now what do you do? Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to send these people? Because that's another thing that I have a lot of people ask me is they're like, I don't have anything to email. So let's brainstorm. Okay. I actually want you to notice that at the beginning of this podcast, I was very intentional about talking to you about my protein drink. I did that on purpose because I'm now tying it in. That was me just sharing a little bit of my personal life. I am on a health journey. I'm trying to get a lot of protein daily, and it's a lot of work. And I know that a lot of you out there probably can relate because it's kind of like a thing right now where everyone's trying to get more protein and it's really hard. Let's do that in your emails. Let's share a little bit, that first paragraph, just like you're talking to a friend, literally, right? Like you're writing your best friend, and just share a little snippet of something going on. It doesn't have to be too personal. You don't have to share your family dirt or laundry or whatever, air your dirty laundry. But just, I had the funniest thing happen today, or anything that can just be a little quirky, a little personal, a funny little story. Stories are always great. In my last email, I just shared that it's April, and I asked, have you fallen for any April Fool's Day jokes? And I said, I'm actually really glad that my kids are past that phase of life where they find those pranks funny. I remember when my oldest thought it was a good idea to put food coloring on her brother's toothbrush. That was so funny with a little emoji of like a face. And so just a little tidbit, again, nothing too personal. It was years ago, but a way for people to kind of connect to me and my family and have a little they feel closer to me and connected. And so you want to start off by just, connecting, sharing a little bit of whatever's going on in your life. Then here's just a list of ideas of things that you could do. You can do a roundup of your favorite things. Again, I did this in my most recent email, but this last email, I just said, here are 3 things that I love recently. And I even said beforehand, I'm really trying to be intentional about buying less and consuming less. So even with that, I'm sharing a little bit of an insight into me and my life and where I'm at right now. And then I shared 3 products or things. One was a book that I'm listening to. One is creatine to help build muscle. And the other is a face wash that I'm using that's natural, chemical free. So none of those were affiliate links. It was just kind of a fun way to get to know me and see what I'm using and liking. And yeah, And then I also really like when people, I've seen in other emails, and I will definitely do this at some point, they will just share not only what's on their website or their blog or their account, but I saw a roundup of like my favorite, I don't know, we'll say St. Patrick's Day quilts, and went to many other different quilters and shared their content. And to me, that was just such a beautiful thing. I was like, oh, they're not afraid to share about somebody else. And it built goodwill. And you know, that person's probably like, whoa, I just got an uptick in my website. What's going on? And it's not even a bad idea to reach out to those people and say, hey, just so you know, I shared about you in my email. I love this. Just to build friendship and connection and goodwill and let them know, hey, good job. By the way, I'm going to send people over your way to take a look at this. You can do behind the scenes of what you're working on now. So you don't have to have a finished product. You can just say, or even what you're thinking about, even if you're not working on something, say, I'm really excited to try fill in the blank. You can announce a new product, whether it's coming up or if it is available. I always love adding every once in a while a secret sale. Even the word secret sale, I saw it in someone else's email years ago, and I was like, I'm totally using that. I love that idea. And I get a ton of sales when that happens. Like people buy when there's a secret sale. You can also give early access as like a thank you for being here on my email list. I'm going to give you early access. And then a link to your blog post or a link to maybe one of your reels. If it went viral or people really liked it or you really liked it, you can just say, hey, check this out. Just keep it casual and fun. People want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from a business. They want to get to know you. So really, you know, like I mentioned, write like you're talking to a friend. Do not have a formal tone. Let it just be very conversational. People are drawn to authenticity. So if you like humor, use humor. Share something random. Just be very, very real. And then be consistent, but realistic. So no, we do not need to go like, okay, we need to write every week. I think starting quarterly is a realistic goal for a beginning business owner or beginning email writer. If you're like, I've been in business for years, but I don't have an email list, maybe just start quarterly. When you're ready, you'll feel it like, I've got this. Okay, I'm in a groove. Then you can start monthly. Then when you're ready, if and when you're ready, go to weekly. But just choose a pace that feels realistic to you, that you could really keep up with. And like I mentioned, be kind to yourself. You are doing better than you think you are. You're doing more than you think you're doing. And the small steps count. Those little baby steps that feel like it's not enough or you're not doing enough, that is where the change actually happens. So let's celebrate the progress. Send that first email and congratulate yourself. Like that's a big win. And if you are like, man, I don't have an email marketing platform, can I use Gmail? Well, no, you can't. There are actually legal reasons why you need to send from a business email. And I cover all of that in a new course that I have. It's called FloDesk Made Easy. And in this course, I cover how to use FloDesk, which is why it's called FloDesk Made Easy. So if you are on a different platform, I am planning to come out with a course that is a deep dive on this very topic. And I will go way more in depth with tons of ideas, month to month, what to email out and how to come up with your own ideas and keep track of that. But this course, FloDesk Made Easy, it goes into FloDesk and shows you how to create an opt-in page, how to get that URL link, how to deliver your freebie automatically. Like you can set it up so it just automatically gets sent to people every time they sign up. And you can start sending those emails with confidence. You can even sell things on FloDesk if you want to. So be sure to check that out. The link for that is in the show notes, or you can go to my website and visit the courses tab under my courses. It's listed there. But yes, email really is such a powerful way to not only sell things, but to connect with your audience. I really view it as like a two-pronged thing. You know what Maria Went mentioned, like just sell and then get them on the email list. That is an option. But also, I mean, the email really, like I mentioned, you're touching these people's lives in a very personal way. I love when people respond to me and share. Like I had someone this week, I shared about a guest blog post with making scrappy jeans using your fabrics. And I had someone email back saying in the 60s and 70s, she wanted bell bottoms, but lived in a small town and they didn't have that. So she was able to get fabric and kind of create her own. That is the kind of thing that touches my heart. I love when people respond to my emails and you know that they're responding because it felt like a personal email. It felt like a friend talking to them. And so they respond to you because you are their friend. And that is the kind of thing that you're going for. You want people to interact and to feel like they're really getting to know you through that email. Kind of like with the podcast, you're getting to know me in the podcast. Well, they're getting to know you in your emails. So use that email list, even if it's just one person, like make that connection. And there's something sweet about the smaller email list because you really get to know them like very personally. You can see who's opening the emails and who's clicking on the buttons, and you can know them by name, which just cannot happen when an email list gets bigger. So there are actually really beautiful things about having a smaller list where you can respond personally and really get to know them. So enjoy every stage of that growth of your business, but don't overlook if you don't have email marketing and you do have a business. Please don't wait on that. You won't regret it. Like, yes, it's a step, it's a process, and creating an opt-in is a thing. But once you have it, it's there forever. I mean, the Gingham Quilt Pattern, like I mentioned, I keep sharing it year after year, and it just keeps on working for me. So don't wait. I mean, I guess if you're like, well, I can't start today, I mean, don't beat yourself up about it. But as soon as you can, I really recommend getting an email marketing platform and growing that list and really nurturing a friendship with your audience. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week with a brand new episode. And again, if you've not left a review for the podcast, please take just a moment to do that. Good luck with your email creation. If you have questions or ideas for a podcast, I'd love to hear from you. But I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.